My name is Mukesh Rawat, and today I'm here live to teach you guys eggless, one more eggless recipe. And today I'm going to make 100% caramel cake. So here, whatever component I'm going to make today is all made with caramel. Okay. So the component I just want to brief you, I'm going to make today is soft caramel, which will be the insert. Toffee caramel, again, it will be the insert. Caramel sponge, it will be the insert. And I will be making like a biscuit base, okay, which is made with the brown sugar, almost caramel. And the mousse, what I'm going to make is also caramel mousse, okay. And finally, I'll be doing the eggless glaze, okay. That will be the final things, and then the garnish. So here we move. First thing what we make is base. I mean insert. Always remember whenever you make an entremet, you first make the insert so that your insert is frozen and it's easy to push inside of the mousse. And when you cut, you get all the layer properly. So first insert what we are going to make is today is soft caramel. That's the first recipe what I'm going to make. And I just make you familiar about the ingredient. We have a sugar. You can see in another camera, which is closer. Sugar, cashew sugar with vanilla pot. We have a cream, which is dairy cream, and butter. So here, if you see, there's no eggs, nothing, no thickening agent. So all about the butter. Butter is going to thicken our soft caramel and it's going to make our insert soft and creamy texture. Okay. So here I'll start. For that, first I'm going to make a caramel. So caramel I make with the sugar and with the vanilla pod, which is already inside in the sugar. So here I'll put all the sugar, which is the dry caramel I'm going to make, and later on I'm going to deglaze with the cream. Okay, deglaze with the cream, and we make sure that our cream is hot. The thing is, why we keep our cream hot, so that when we pour inside of the caramel, so our caramel should not get shocked and it should not form lumps. So that's why your cream has to be warm enough. Okay, so here I'll just make a caramel with a vanilla pot. And later on, I'm going to add the butter. So butter I add when the temperature is a little bit of down. Okay, at that time I will add the butter. Okay, so as I said, the butter will give the creamy texture, and as well as it will set our soft caramel inside of the mold. So that is the purpose. Okay. And the taste of this cake is really nice. Okay. And if you see, people are fond of eggless now these days, more like an eggless, going through the eggless. So we have made a few recipe which is purely based on eggless. Okay. And we give a touch of like a French pastry, like an entremet. We are going to make different types of layer or component for this cake. Okay. It's not only mousse kind of things. Here you will get all the types of crunch, and you will be get the soft texture inside. You will get the sponge. Okay. So for this caramel, we are going to make little bit of a darkish of color, so that when we deglaze it, the taste remain there. If we make like a little light caramel, the thing is, our caramel is going to be sweet, but the taste will be a little bit of sweetened, but it will be not too much of caramel flavor. So that's what I stop here, and I will show you guys. You can see the caramel is almost ready. Okay, and I will deglaze here. So I deglaze with the cream again. Nicely. Okay. And I just turn it off. And you can see the texture. There's no lumps at all. Okay. It's a nice, okay, a nice color. You can see it's like almost like a toffee color. Very nice. So this is how we are going to make our camel, basically. Okay. So it's a quick recipe. And we make sure when we add the butter. So here, I'm just going to remove this vanilla pod and just mix it nicely. So you can see the texture is really nice. Okay, I'm going to blend here also, and you can blend in the jug also. Okay, but I'll blend here. I'm just mixing it nicely so that the temperature goes little down. Okay, and it will be easy for me to mix the butter. Otherwise, it melts fast. Okay. So butter, you have to take a soft butter, not cold butter. Cold in the sense you should not take from the deep freezer. You can take from the chiller. And the temperature of your butter has to be like below 5 degrees centigrade. That's fine. However, the caramel is hot. So that's fine. You can easily blend it. Okay. But sometimes if your butter is too cold, so here maybe I'll use the jug. The reason is if I keep inside of the saucepan only, the pan is hot, it takes too much of time to cool down. Okay. So that's why you can see it's a nice, and here I have a blender. So blender, we can blend it easily, and it will make a smooth texture basically. So I add all the butter inside. And I will blend it. The color will be little bit of light. The reason is because of the butter. So when you blend it, basically the caramel will be soft, and whatever small lumps are there, it will just will break. Okay, whether it's from the caramel or from the butter. So it's easy to make a smooth batter. So now these days the blender play very big role in the pastry world also. Okay, to smooth all the texture, whether it's cremo, whether it's like a soft caramel or your mousse. Okay, so when you blend it, you will get really smooth texture basically. So I just mix this one nicely now here, and you can see the consistency is the flowy consistency. Okay, so we should have your weighing scale, and I'm going to make like a donut shape of cake. So basically you should be aware what exactly you are going to make your cake, what shape you are going to make. So I'll pour inside of my mold the caramel. So I'm going to pour almost 120 gram of caramel. So it's been made for one, this is made for one recipe basically. Okay. So you can see now, you can just little bit of you tap it, and you can see the texture, you can see the color, and I'm going to put in the deep freezer. Basically, I'm going to freeze it just for 10 minutes. However, our blast chiller is ready. So in 10 minutes, it will be ready. Okay. So I just pass on and put in the deep freezer. Okay. So next, I'm going to make a toffee insert. So toffee is basically like a fudge. Okay. So here is the soft caramel, and I'm going to give one more layer of fudge layer, which will be chewy, little bit of crunch as well. Okay. So for that, we have a recipe here. We do have cream. I'll just keep your cream, sugar, invert sugar, liquid glucose, we have a butter, and we have a sea salt, and we do have a cocoa butter basically here. Okay, now if you see the first procedure, what we did, we just caramel the sugar, but here we are not going to caramel the sugar, we are going to make a fudge. So fudge is basically made with cream, sugar, invert sugar, glucose, these are glucose, invert sugar and sugar, these are the sugar basically, the different form of sugar. We are going to cook together with the salt. Basically 114 degrees centigrade we are going to cook. Okay, so we evaporate maximum of the moisture, whatever is present in our cream, and we are going to use only milk solid, which is present in the cream, and that will caramelize basically, and you will get the fudgy taste. So here, what we are going to do, I'll turn it on. I pour first cream. Sugar with a vanilla pot again. You can see sugar with a vanilla pot. Here is the invert sugar basically. So invert sugar is basically will give little bit of a soft texture. It will, your fudge will not become too hard. Okay, it will be like a chewy basically. And glucose. So again, it's a form of sugar. Again, the glucose also will give the softness to our fudge. And going to add sea salt. So basically the sea salt has a good role, especially when you make a fudge. So it is bit like a salted caramel thing, okay? So here I'm going to change, I'll just remove the spatula and use whisk. Okay. So basically, when you put the thermometer inside, it takes a lot of time to reach 140 degrees centigrade, 14 degrees centigrade, not 40, 114, 114 degrees centigrade. Because until or unless the moisture is present in the cream, it will remain in 100 degrees centigrade for a long time, okay, for a while. Once the moisture is being evaporated, then the temperature will increase, okay. So I'll start, however, it start boiling. So for this, you should have a candy thermometer, okay, or you have a probe thermometer. Also, you can use probe thermometer, okay. But the candy thermometer is very much accurate, so I'm using candy thermometer, okay. But if you guys have a candy probe thermometer, you can use it. There's no problem at all, no harm. But make sure your thermometer is calibrated. To calibrate the thermometer, you should boil the soft water, and you have to put your thermometer inside of the soft boiled water, keep boiling for 1 or 2 minutes, and then you can read at what temperature your thermometer is boiling the water. Okay, please do not boil the hard water, basically the bore water. That is not the correct way to calibrate the thermometer. Okay, so then you can see whether your thermometer is in plus or minus. So before using it, I've calibrated my thermometer. It's exactly boiling the water in 100 degrees centigrade. Okay. So basically you move your hands around of the saucepan so that, you know, your mixture is mixed properly. So here, if you see the roll of butter, again, the soft texture and the taste, and cocoa butter will make your insert a little bit of hard. Basically, when you freeze it, the cocoa butter will set and it will give you one texture to you. Okay. So cocoa butter is basically to set your fudge. Okay. Otherwise, it's tend to melt. Basically, fudge will absorb the moisture and become soft. So once you add the cocoa butter, so then your fudge is not going to absorb the moisture, it remain as it is. So that's where the cocoa butter has been added. So I'll add the cocoa butter when the temperature of our mixture is 114 degrees centigrade. Okay, then I'm going to cook it further till 118 degrees centigrade to make a soft fudge, not too hard. Okay, otherwise, what is going to happen when you cut your cake? It's going to remain one piece in the center. So we should avoid that. So I'm just waiting our milk solid to caramelize basically. And you can see the sugar also a lot there. The sugar and milk solid will caramelize together and you will get the fudgy taste basically. It's a little bit of a long process, but yes, the taste will be amazing. And it's almost 111 degrees centigrade here. And I'll show you the color of the fudge. It's a little bit of brown. Okay, it's 114 now. And you can see the color. Okay, and I'll show you the closer one as well. Here, the color is a little bit of brownish. And what will happen on the surface is it starts caramelizing. So you have to keep mixing it. Okay. Now I will add the butter. And the cocoa butter. So recipe we will share with you on IGTV later or in YouTube. So you can see there, you can, take out the recipe. Again, I'm going to cook further. Now you see again, the texture is same. The closed TV, the texture is almost same. And I'm going, only the color will change bit. And it's on. So it's 116 degree now. 118 is going to be. And that's all, it's almost ready. Okay. So our thing is ready here, the fudge. So here what I'm going to do, so we have an insert. I will put this one inside of the, I'll just cool down. You can see the texture. Okay. This is the texture and I'm going to weigh. And now the caramel also set. Easily I can pour inside. So again, this one also I'm going to weigh 125 degrees centigrade. So same amount of this thing I put. That's all. I will just spread this one. Little bit so that it reach everywhere. Okay. And it's ready. I can put inside of the freezer. Okay. Make sure it reach everywhere. And I'm going to again put in the deep freezer. Okay. Next, I'm going to make a biscuit base basically. For that, I'm going to use our KitchenAid. Okay, so I'm going to use a paddle here. Okay. And the method, there's a two types of method to make a biscuit base. One is creaming method and another is rubbing method. So I go for rubbing method here. We have a butter, we have a flour, we have a almond powder, we have a brown sugar, and we have a salt, basically, so that we break the sweetness. However, it's 100% of caramel. So we are adding salt here as well, so that you balance the sweetness. Okay, so butter, I'll add here. So I'm going to do the rubbing method. Creaming method you can go, but the only thing is it will take a long time for you to chill out and then you cut and bake it. However, the class is short, so I'll use the rubbing method. My butter is cold right now. So flour, almond powder, and brown sugar. So basically here I'm not using castor sugar. I'm using brown sugar to give that caramelized flavor. Okay. And salt also I'm going to use right away. So here we fix the bowl and slowly, gradually you just mix up. Okay. So for this, we need a tray, parchment paper, and rolling pin to spread it. Okay. So we are going to spread the sablé, the caramel sablé, almost say about 2 to 3 mm, not more than that. We are not going to be too thick, okay, or not too thin. So I'm going to sheet inside of the parchment paper. If you have a sill pad, two sill pad, even you can use sill pad as well. Okay. And after this, we are going to make a caramel sponge. So here, if you see, once it's formed dough, immediately I'm going to remove it. So basically, I don't want to mix too much. If I mix too much, it will form gluten, number one. And number two, your dough will be too soft. Okay. So here you can see it's almost like a crumbly texture. I will show in both of the cameras. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'll just mix with the hand and I'll just form a dough basically like this. The dough is ready. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the parchment and I'm using one parchment basically, half. The reason is because I'm going to make a small, only for one cake. So just press it so that it's easy for you to roll. If you put a big dough, it will be a little hard for you to roll. And better use this kind of rolling pin. If you don't have this rolling pin, you can use say about PVC pipe. You just cut a piece and you can use that one also. Okay. So that is easily available. So I will just hold it. If I go directly, I will be not able to push it because it's a little soft. It will stick on the rolling pin. So I use parchment paper. So in between parchment paper, I divide this dough into two parts. Divide in the sense it's a round circle. I keep my rolling pin in the center and push further like that. Okay. I'm not going to roll it. Otherwise, I'll get the hump and push towards me. So divide into half. Don't try to pull from here to this end. Otherwise, it's too tough and it will be too thick in the center. Okay. So half you do, it's much easier, much faster. Change the side so that there are no wrinkles and you are sure that your biscuit is flat properly. Okay, like this, you can see now, it's already flattened enough. You can see the thickness also because the butter is cold. I'm able to, it's a flexible right now. I fold it, you put in the deep freezer. If you need faster, keep the marble in the deep freezer and you can place on top of the marble. So marble is really cold and it will set faster. If you don't have a marble, so you can buy a tiles also. You can keep on top of for the home baking. You can put on the tiles. Tiles you can keep in the deep freezer and you can use it anytime. Okay. So here I'm going to keep in the deep freezer. Okay. So next I'm going to make is caramel mousse. Sorry, caramel sponge. Next. So for the caramel sponge here, we are not going to whip the chickpea water or nothing. Okay. But sure, there was the sugar. There's the water. So basically, it's 120 gram of sugar and almost say about 80 gram of water. So I have to make a dry caramel and deglaze with the water. Basically, there in first step, you have seen me the first recipe. I deglaze my caramel with the cream. So here I am going to deglaze with the water. But this process I have already done before. I kept my caramel ready. So I'm not going to make a caramel right now because if I make a caramel right now, it will be too hot and I have to wait to cool down. Otherwise, what happens the moment I add flour inside, it's going to form a lump because the water is hot. So this one I'm going to eliminate. And instead of that, directly I'm going to use the caramel, which is already made. So today morning I made it. So it's ready. Okay. You can see the caramel color so that you get nice flavored caramel sponge. So I'm going to add here the caramel water fully. So as per the recipe, I add the caramel water. I'm going to add here the sugar. Here's the milk. We have a oil. We have a baking soda. We have a baking powder. We have a flour. And we have a xanthan gum. Okay. The xanthan gum is basically to give a little bit of the flexible of plywood texture. It's like a when you whip the egg white, it's like a more like a sticky part. So that's what we are adding a little bit of xanthan gum to give a bind basically, binding the things. So here I'll add the sugar, all the sugar. Sugar is for the again for the taste and as well as the moisture. I'm going to add the milk. Okay. Now I'm going to mix all the baking powder, xanthan gum and baking soda together here. And then however it's already sieved and kept ready, I'm just going to put inside. Okay, but surely you have to sieve it so that your flour is aerated properly and we sieved it and kept ready. Okay, again I'm going to use the machine and I'll mix it. Later on I'm going to add the oil. If I add oil before, what is going to happen? The oil is going to, when I add oil before, the flour will absorb the oil and it will form lumps. So we add oil later once the flour is already mixed with the liquid. Okay. So that's why we don't add oil before, we add later on. Or whether in that matter, even the butter also, melted butter. So we always add in the last. I'll just clean it up. I'll show you the texture as well. It will be a little bit of runny, but it comes really nice. You can see in the first camera and second camera also. If you want to see, you can. So you can see the nice color of caramel. Mix it nicely. Make sure there's no lumps. And I'll just keep it back. And I will add the oil gradually from the side so that it mixes nicely. So the oil is basically give the moisture to your sponge. It will be soft. Okay. Butter, if you add butter, sometime what happens when you chill your sponge, that time become a bit hard. Okay. But the oil will keep your sponge soft only. So that's why the oil has been introduced. However, it's a caramel sponge. You add butter in the last instead of oil, still it will work because the caramel is going to absorb the moisture when you keep the sponge in the fridge. Okay, because the caramel is present there. Okay. So here now the sponge is ready. Very, very easy recipe. And I'm not going to add any flavor in this in terms of essence and all or vanilla because I want nice caramel flavor sponge. Okay. For this, I have a tray ready with a Silpan mat. If you don't have a Silpan, you can use either Silpak or parchment paper. But Silpan, if you have a Silpan, number one, you will get the proper thickness. Number two, you will be able to retain the moisture inside of your sponge. And your sponge will be really nice. Okay. So here I'm going to pour all my mixture because it's been made for one recipe. I'll just wipe it nicely. And now I'm going to spread it. But this sponge is a little different than the egg sponge. Looks too thin for me right now, but once you bake, it becomes a little thick because of the baking powder and baking soda. Okay. And the xanthan gum is helping it just for to form proper texture. So here my oven is set 190 degrees centigrade. Okay. So I'll put only 9 minutes. Okay. So I set the oven and it's a preset. The temperature is already 190 degrees centigrade and I'm going to bake only 9 minutes. I'm not going to bake beyond that so that my sponge is soft and nice. Okay. After this, I'm going to make a glaze basically, which is eggless glaze. Here for the glaze, I'm not going to use gelatin. I'm going to use agar agar basically. Okay. And using agar agar is a different method altogether. Okay. So for that, I have kept the color. And I need a jug just to blend. Okay. And for sure, I need a thermometer. Here, I'm going to use a approved thermometer. Okay. Because I have to cook this glaze first 80 degrees centigrade. And then I have to add agar agar inside and then recook it till 90 degrees centigrade. Basically, one good boil. And then you take it out, add color inside, blend nicely, and you chill it for a while. And then you have to cool down this one. For this process, if you need urgently, you should have a cold water bath You put the full saucepan inside of the water. Keep mixing your glaze for a while. Once the temperature comes in 40 degrees centigrade, then you remove it, and immediately you can glaze your cake. Okay. So here first I will introduce you guys with the recipe. We have a water. We have a water. We have a liquid glucose. We have a condensed milk. We have a sugar. And we have a agar-agar. Okay. So agar-agar, again, I'm not going to drop as it is. I'm going to mix with the sugar, half of the sugar, basically. So I'll add half the sugar here. Mix it so that when I mix, when the temperature is 80 degrees centigrade, it doesn't form lumps. Okay. The sugar will absorb the moisture and you'll be able to mix your agar-agar nicely. So here what I'm going to do, first I'm going to add the water. Liquid glucose. I will just heat up. If it is little hard, guys, just microwave for a few seconds or 10 seconds. If I give a count, it will be soft and easy to remove. Okay. That's all. So it's now running and easy to remove. So then I can add sugar. Okay. The rest of the sugar I put on I mix with the agar-agar, and I'm going to add the condensed milk as well here. Okay. I'm not going to add in the last. Okay. So if you see the other glazes with the gelatin, sometimes you add in the last. So here I'm going to add in a mix because I want the agar-agar to be active. Now I turn it on, mix slightly until my spatula is not clean because there's a lot of glucose stuck on the spatula. So then later on I'm going to use whisk, but very slowly. Okay, because I have to mix the agar-agar properly. That's why. Okay, I clean the spatula. Now I'm going to use the probe thermometer and heat up until 80 degrees centigrade. The 80 degree is the desired temperature for agar-agar. For packing, however, we add in 45 degrees centigrade. The same here for agar-agar is 80 degrees centigrade, where the agar-agar will dilute nicely and will be active. Okay. So that is the particular desired temperature for agar-agar. And agar-agar is over, it's again the thickening agent, which is taken from the plant. Just mix nicely until the glucose is not dilute properly. Otherwise, what happens? If you leave it, the glucose will burn. It will stick on the pan, the bottom of the pan, and start burning, or it will caramelize. So you have to mix it first. Let it dilute with the liquid. So I'm almost close to that particular temperature. So here you can see it's 80 degree. Okay. And just stop it here only. And I'm going to add the agar and sugar together. Gradually, don't drop one time. slowly you have to add a mix. That's all. Okay. So here I'm going to give one good boil or 90 degrees centigrade. Again, you can bring it up. So basically, what happens on the 90 degrees centigrade, it will tend to thick. Okay. So basically, in 90 degree, your agar agar will be fully active. Okay. Make sure there is no lumps. Okay. If it is lumps, then what happens? Half of the agar agar will form lumps, and then your glaze will melt. Okay. Then you'll be telling, okay, sometimes we feel okay, we add as per the recipe, but it's not working. But the problem is we didn't use proper process, and it happens. Okay. So I mix everywhere so that and it's almost 90 degrees centigrade, and the boil also has come. Okay. So basically, if you don't have a thermometer, so one boil. The first boil, when it comes, just stop there itself. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do, I'll pour the mixture right now. You can see it's thin only, seems thin, but once it's cooled down, become thick. Okay. Here, so I will be using the blender, and the same time I will give the caramel color. So here's the golden yellow color, as well as the brown color. Okay. So when you have a color which is liquid gel color, the gel color is liquid soluble color basically. So make sure you count the drop. You just cannot go with the grammage. You just count the drop. So I count the drop here. Okay, so alarm is already on here. Our sponge is almost ready. Okay, here it will be a little bit of nicely done. Okay, and I'll chill it, and then I'll just cut a piece and use it. Okay, so here I'll add the brown now, and then later on okay, the blender. So whenever you blend it, make sure you just reduce the speed. I'll just see the color and add. So this sponge which I made just now will take little time or little more time to cool down. And however, I kept one piece ready with that I will be using later on. Okay. So almost 40 drop I use for this of golden yellow and 4 drop of brown. So you can see the color here. You will be not able to judge there, but you can check here. Okay. So here the color you can see here, the glaze right now looks thin. So what I will do this one, I'll just cool down later on. I'll just leave it for a while as it is. And then I will keep in the double boiler bath, cold water bath, and just bring the temperature down and I'll pour over the cake. Now I'm going to bake the biscuit base. For that, my tray is ready. The cutter, and you can see it's already frozen now, hard. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll bake this one first, say about uh, 10 minutes. After that, I will just cut it off. Okay. If I cut right now, it's going to join. Okay. So I'll just remove the top part and I'll bake it as it is. So 160 degrees centigrade, you can bake say about around 15 minutes. So 10 minutes, I'll stop it. I'll just cut the shape of our mold. So this is the mold what I'm going to use, and this is the ring. I'm going to cut same size. Center will be cut with this, and I'll get this size of base basically. So first I bake this one for 10 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes will bake. By the time I'm going to make a mousse. Okay, so for the mousse recipe, here again, the caramel what I made in the morning, I mean, sorry, first recipe what I made, soft caramel. From there only you have to take one part separately and keep. From that only, you no need to make a separate only. You may, from that only you take one part of cream, which is already mentioned how many gram you're supposed to take. That we will show you when you go to the IGTV. So here that part of we already made before and kept ready. Apart from that, we have a cream, which is going to be whipped. I have a sugar, cashew sugar, and instead of gelatin, I'm going to use here pectin, but I'm not going to use agar-agar. Guys, do not make mousse with agar-agar because it gets dry fast and shelf life of your mousse goes down basically. After a few days, what will happen? It will just crack basically. Okay, it get dry. Okay, once it get dry, your mousse will crack. So instead of agar-agar, I'm going to use a pectin, okay, which is NH pectin basically. So I'll mix with the sugar, same the way I mix agar-agar, and keep ready here. So now I have a recipe which has cream here. I'm going to whip the cream for my mousse, semi-whip basically. Okay, so I take a cream. So mousse we need more. So and the caramel which is already made, soft caramel. The first recipe what I made, it's the same as it is, same recipe, but it's been pre-made and kept aside. Okay. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to use this caramel the soft caramel which I made in the morning to use for the mousse. But you know how to make a soft caramel. As the first recipe what I made is a soft caramel only. From there only same recipe as it is, I took and I made it and kept aside so that it's cold. Okay. Here what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up till 45 degrees centigrade. And then I'm going to add the pectin inside of this so that the pectin is activate and I will be able to fold the cream in this mixture. Okay, that is the whole idea. So basically the pectin is going to set your mousse, not agar agar. Okay. So I already turn on. My cream is also ready. You can see it's a runny. Okay. So this means this is called soft peak. Okay. If the cream is runny inside, the soft peak is ready for me. And here, once the thing is little warm, I will add the pectin. So it's already warm, approximately 45 degrees centigrade. Okay, you are able to hold it. Okay, it's not too hot. And we activate. We mix nicely first. I turn off my induction so that the temperature doesn't goes up, and I will be able to mix the pectin in 45 degrees centigrade. Now I'll turn it on again and just bring a boil. The first boil comes, just stop there itself. Okay. Again, guys, you should fold your mousse in your mixture when the temperature of your mixture is 43 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that it's okay. The first boil is already started, and I stop here only. Okay, so you can see the mixture is running. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, so I'll pour all my mixture in this. Okay. Okay, here ready so that you can see the folding. Mix it a little bit. Okay, I'll just want to bring the temperature down a little bit while mixing it. And however, the classroom is cold, so it's easy for me. Okay, so you can see the texture, and it's a really nice cake. Okay. So it's almost good enough for me to fold. Okay. So I'll just check the sablé as well. Few more minutes. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to cut. However, I kept ready a few things. So first, I will fill the mousse in our mold, and by the time our insert is getting ready. Okay. So after 2 minutes, we'll take out the insert. Once I fill the mousse, then I'll bring the insert and then I'll put it inside. Okay, so it's ready now. I'll just mix it. Basically, what you do, you take a small part of cream and then fold it. Basically, you're tempering it. However, the cream is cold. The best part is your cream has to be runny. It shouldn't be thick. If it is too thick, then it will be very, very hard. Your mousse will be hard. If the cream is little bit of runny, it will be really good. So I'm going to mix it here fully. Okay, because here so I'll keep this one aside for a while. Okay. Okay. So by the time I'll just cool down. I'll just see the baking. Okay. So almost here is 10 minutes over. I'll show you the biscuit base here, which is almost ready. And what I'm going to do here, so I take the size of this mold, as I said, and it goes easily inside. And the center part for this, okay? So what I do here, I'll just press it, which is ready. And the center I'll cut with this thing. So I'll be able to demold it very, very easily. Okay, and I put for baking. So 5 more minutes, last 5 minutes, it will be ready. However, you can see the little bit of color is already there. Okay. Okay, so by the time I'll just fill the mousse. However, the insert is already hard enough. So I'll just pour in this glass bowl only so that I can clean this one as well. You can see it's almost runny consistency. Okay. And better we use the jug. Okay, here. And close camera, you can see. It's thick and nice in color. So we can use piping bag also, but it's, you can see it's more thin. So better I go with the jug. So almost I put 400 gram, and I'm going to use the spoon just to apply from the side so that there's no air bubble or air gap. So for this, I have insert which is ready. Give me the fresh one. So guys, I'm going to put one nice and soft sponge. It's already hard. Now I just show you. So this is hard already. And I'll cut one more piece from the center. This sponge I'll cut, remove it, and I'm going to place inside of this. So already stuck because of the caramel. Okay, and I'm keeping it on the in the deep freezer for a while, and then I'm going to fix it. So again, I'll just fix it a little more. Biscuit base, I already kept one ready because this biscuit base will take little time to cool down. So it takes too much of time for me. So you can see this one. Okay. Now I'll bring the insert and put it here. Okay. Yes. So this is the frozen one. I just remove it. So this one I pre-made. Another one is a little bit of soft. I cannot remove immediately, but this one I can definitely remove because it's been made in the morning. So it's made hard and sponge is already there. Okay. So here you just put it inside. I need a mousse with more. I'll just rotate it. And here the mousse is already there. I'll just pour it inside. Don't fill up. Okay. Okay. The biscuit base is already ready. I'll just take it out. Ready here. You can see. You can take it out. But the center part I will remove once it's cooled down fully. Okay. That I'll push it. However, for this cake, I already made it and show you. Ready here, and then I'll add the biscuit base, which is pre-made and it's cooled. Okay. I'll just place here. So you can see the cake is already assembled. Okay. Here like this, the mousse is not on top. Easy to demold for me. Okay. And I'll put in the deep freezer right now. So basically your insert has to be really hard and frozen. It should be like minus 31 degrees centigrade. Okay. And your cake as well. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to one tray and I'll glaze on top of the tray with a cling wrap so that cling wrap. So basically, I hope you know how to make the fudge, how to make a soft caramel, which is the insert. So soft caramel is insert, toffee caramel is insert. Then I put a sponge on top of that. You freeze it, make it hard. Once it's minus 31 degrees centigrade, it will be very easy for you to pull it out from the mold. If your insert is not frozen enough, number one, what will happen? When you demold it, it will be very difficult for you because it will be stuck in the mold. Number two, if you are able to demold, however, so what is going to happen? When you push inside the mousse, again, it will be very flexible. It will just move here and there. So when you cut the cake, the mousse will be somewhere too much, somewhere less. So that's why your insert has to be really frozen. When you push inside, it goes in proper level, and when you cut the cake, it comes really nice. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the cake. Okay. So plastic container. I need one just to, so this one is the pre-made because which I made right now. I cannot just demold it. It has to be almost like a, say about a hour in the blast chiller, 1 hour. Then you are able to demold it very, very easily. Okay. So I'll just remove this one, press this one inside. And demold it. So basically you just clean the side. So you can see it's a nice donut mold, donut shaped cake. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'll just remove this one. I need this base, one base I need, and I'm going to demold on top of this. Okay. So it's a very easy for me. So however the cake is hard, I have no issue. And I'll just mix it and pour over it. Okay. So a little bit more, I'll just mix it. So before you pour, make sure you just mix your glaze nicely so that there's no lumps in your glaze. Mix it and you just wipe it a little bit so that there's no ice form. If ice form, it just slide. Okay. So you can see the cake. I'll just leave it, let it drip down. Okay. If you feel thin, you can add, you can pour more. Nothing happens. This glaze is really easy to do. Like that. So you get little more darker color, but pour it in one shot. Do not pour slowly because the agar tend to set very fast, faster than your gelatin. Okay, so you have to be really fast when you do work with the agar. Okay, so my cake is almost ready. I'll just wait for a while, let the glaze set. Then I'll just clean from the base little bit. I can lift it and you just clean. It's set really fast and I'm going to keep in the base. Here, this one I'll just remove. So now I will be doing the garnishing cream. I'll put the dollops on top and then I'm going to, you have to choose the best side. Okay. So I have a scissor here. I have a cream just for garnish. So here, what we do, I'm going to pipe it here. Like that. I'm going to add the garnish, which is already pre-made and kept ready. Okay, so I'm going to fix the garnish. So my cake is ready, you can see. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, so the caramel cake is ready. Okay, so this is how you make the eggless cake. Really nice, good looking, and the beautiful taste. Okay, so done for today, and the biscuit base still has to be cooled down. Okay, it's still hot. I'll just wait for this, then I will demold it. I hope you understand everything. Okay, and now I hope you know how to make the eggless 100% caramel cake. This cake is really nice, very good, very easy method, and very easy to make at home as well. Okay, only I think the two things you have to buy is number one is agar agar, and number two is the pectin. These two things you have to make sure you should have. Apart from that, everything is easily available in the market, which you can buy. Even the agar agar is easily available in the market, and it's pectin you have to buy. Okay, so very easy method. That's all for today. Okay, and I'll just read your message. I think I'm going the yes, leftover ingredient, leftover things you can store in your fridge or deep freezer. Whenever you need, you just take it out, thaw it, mix it, or you can just little bit of you can warm it and use it. There's nothing is waste. The glaze also you can reuse. Your mousse you can reuse, and soft caramel you can reuse. Toffee caramel you can reuse, but toffee caramel you don't put in the deep freezer. Sometimes what happens, it becomes soft. Okay, because the caramel, too much of caramel, it will absorb the moisture and it will become too soft for you. Okay. Okay, the agar-agar glaze is a good pouring. Temperature is 40 degree. In the 40 degree, if your cake is minus 31 degrees centigrade, in 40 degree you can pour. So this glaze has been poured in 40 degrees centigrade, which just now I did. That's all. Thank you very much, guys, for watching us online. Okay, and we'll be soon with another recipe, and the video and recipe will be put on IGTV or YouTube. Okay, in YouTube will be this video will be available in the YouTube in few days, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. There you will be able to get the full recipe with the method and everything. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.